It was the day after the board meeting, the board had voted on it, and so I just kind of told the students, I know that you guys have some questions, you have some concerns. And there's all kinds of reasons I can tell you that you have to go back to class. So I said, but I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that you'd like an opportunity. I said, is there anybody, can I answer questions for you? Is there someone else you'd like questions? And so the kids asked for the board president as well as the superintendent to come over and ask questions. So I called them up. I actually called the superintendent, he called the board president, and then kind of then they kind of came down, and then we kind of answered questions for the kids. It took about half an hour to get down here, and then we had the kids come in the auditorium, and they were able to ask questions and get answers from Dr. Scott, myself, and Mr. Malentinsky, the board president. After that, the students continued a little bit with the sit-in, and then about right before lunch, I asked the students if they would go back to class. That they're kind of at that point, there was some disruption going on to the learning of other students because the disruption was taking place, but ultimately it was the kids and the leaders of the sit-in that actually that had the kids go back to class. A lot of the leaders from the sit-in stood up and said, he's right. We've got our point across. We had an opportunity to voice our concerns. We've got some questions. We still have more. Dr. Scott and Mr. Malentinsky agreed to have another session Thursday after school for students to ask and answer more questions then. And so, like I said, a lot of the student leaders who were part of the sit-in who had started it told the kids, we've got our message across. It really is time. We're only hurting ourselves. We need to go back to class and get our education. So it wasn't me necessarily getting them to go back. I mean, I kind of talked with the kids and kind of explained, why I needed them to go back. But it was really the kids who stepped up and said, all right, we've got our message across. We really need to go back. And they kind of just went back to class, and it kind of just ended really as quietly as it started, I was really, and I told the news this when they interviewed me, I was really impressed by our students. They were nothing but respectful, polite. I mean, like I said, even from the get-go, they were very respectful. They wanted an opportunity to just kind of, together show some of their support for themselves and for their classmates with their concerns over the switch. But yeah, I mean, the kids have been nothing but great, to tell you the truth. I mean, they've been, the whole time the sit-in was happening, a lot of the student leaders helped to make sure the kids weren't kind of getting out of hand and making sure that it stayed exactly to what their whole purpose was. I was very impressed with the kids. I mean, anything could have turned in with a sit-in, and these kids did a good job of organizing and then even we sat down with them, and very articulate questions, very good questions, very real questions that they just wanted answered. Some misperceptions out there they needed clarification on, so I was very impressed. Very, very good kids, that we have here at Holt. It's honestly, to tell you the truth, it's been mixed. There's parents who are, against it. There's parents who are unsure about it. And there's parents who are for it, and so, part of, even when you're looking at the overall switch, and the board talked to us at the board meeting, is that we're looking at all 6,000 students and the thoughts and perceptions of them, as well as the community, as well as their parents, as well as the things that the state is pushing on us, and the changing of the expectations, the changing of our financial resources. And so, how do we think differently about educating kids and helping them be more prepared for college or careers, at the same time not cutting any of our programs or our teachers through working some of these switches, these consolidations. And